What's going on, you guys? Thanks so much for tuning in to this quick little reaction video today. The Habs making a minor league deal with the Anaheim Ducks between the Laval Rocket and the Anaheim Ducks farm team. Can I get that right? That'd be nice. Between the San Diego Gulls and the Laval Rocket, and actually newly promoted GM of the Laval Rocket, John Sedgwick, is getting right to work here, and it's an interesting little deal. I'm not trying to get anybody too hyped on this player. It's a minor league deal. We get it. I know you guys don't get too excited to talk about it, and you want to let me know in the comments on these kind of videos. I get it, but let's still talk about it anyway. I looked into Jacob and I thought, let's figure out let's find out some information and see what we can learn about this player that we're getting in return for Jan Mysak, who actually I watched last year in the Prospects Challenge in Buffalo, and I thought he was a pretty good young physical player. Jan Mysak was coming from the Hamilton Bulldogs, winning the OHL title with current former Montreal Canadian Arbor Jackeye, former teammate of Jackeyes on the Hamilton Bulldogs. And if you look at even just, Myshak's numbers back with the Bulldogs, he was basically just over a point per game player in his final season in Hamilton. 34 goals, 30 assists, 64 points in 61 games in the OHL. But I did hear once, from a reliable OHL source that, if you're not like a 2 point per game player, I mean, you're not going to necessarily stick out as being something that teams expect to convert to NHL caliber. Basically, it doesn't necessarily translate to the NHL in a great way. And we haven't seen Jan Mysak play with the Montreal Canadiens at all. He's only played with the AHL's Laval Rocket. And so far this season, Mysak had 13 goals, 7 assists for 20 points in those 48 games. Whereas we go to Jacob Perreault, who, you know what, I'm going to get a screen share going for you guys just so we can actually take a direct look at his numbers. Take a direct look at Jacob Perreault, who is the son of former Montreal Canadian Yannick Perreault. Yes, former NHLer Yannick Perreault, who played over 800 NHL career games and actually put up good numbers with the Habs. Let me just say that actually Yannick Perreault in his career with the Canadiens had 67 goals, 66 assists, goods for 133 points in those games. And he actually had 12 playoff points in 18 playoff games, Yannick Perreault. So shout out to him. Hopefully he can help his son turn that into some success, at least with the Val Rocket. And who knows what's going to happen with him at the NHL level. All right, so let's take a look at Jacob Perreault, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at him here. Let's scroll down and we see, let me just get this other title out of the way just so it's not too much of a distraction here. But, I'll even take my video out. I'll kind of move it down a little bit. So Jacob Perreault so far this season in the AHL with the San Diego Gulls, 31 games played, 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points in those 31 games. And Jacob Perreault is a right-handed shot right winger, and he's 21 years old, 5'11", 192 pounds, currently listed right now. And he is a former first-round draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks. He's a later first-round pick, and there actually is some good information that I want to bring to you guys in terms of Jacob Perreault, because, people are wondering, is this an upgrade on Jan Mysak? Well, according to Mark Dumont, who will be appearing tomorrow on the live trade deadline special on this channel here, according to Mark Dumont, Jacob Perreault should be considered an upgrade on Jan Mysak, making the trade a very low-risk, medium-reward situation for Montreal Canadiens general manager Kent Hughes. Perreault's offensive skill set is far superior to Mysak's, and specifically, the biggest asset to Perreault's game is his shot. So he's actually got, a pretty elite shot. I don't know that elite is the right word, but if you actually look at Jared Book and his article that he wrote in the 2020 draft profile of Jacob Perreault on Habs Eyes on the Prize, it's on Jared Book's Twitter. Go check that out. I just read the profile, and the biggest strength clearly offensively is his shot. And it's not just one kind of shot. It's on the power play, it's a one-timer, it's a wrist shot and a snapshot. He can get a lot of shots off from the side of the net. You saw some of those goals scored in his OHL days, which I looked at those highlights. And also he's got a pretty good backhand shot as well. So he comes in and looks to be, puck protecting, and then he just flips a puck past an unsuspecting goaltender. So not a ton to get excited about necessarily here. It's more just a deal to talk about, hopefully to improve the Laval Rockets' chances in the playoffs. And it doesn't hurt to bolster their offense, right? So it does seem like Perreault could be a more of a one-dimensional player. I haven't seen him. This is all his draft profile information before being drafted, by the way, by the Anaheim Ducks. So he was seen as more of a one-dimensional offensive player, a guy who can, create chances off the rush, who can play well on the power play, puts up good power play points. But defensively, that's where the biggest issue is. If you have an offensive player, that's why he was going to go late in the first round. His skating was a bit of a question mark, and more so his details away from the puck. So if the Canadian system, if the development system can sort of work with him to improve that side of his game, maybe he can become a solid asset and actually a good offensive producer potentially with the Laval Rocket. And then, who knows what happens at the NHL level for him. That's not where I'm thinking about this deal right now. I'm thinking about him being a positive contribution to the Laval Rocket. And I want to give shout out to Mick, my friend Mick, who sent me the message about this deal before I found out about it, because I might not even have seen Twitter before I go into work here to get a chance to talk about this. So it's an interesting little deal. That's what we see it as, a little deal with the Laval Rocket. And like I mentioned already, Jacob Perreault, son of former Hab Yannick Perreault. I already mentioned that, which I don't know why I'm putting that up again, but I guess I am. So with Jan Mysak, I found him to be more of a grittier, hard-nosed player, a guy who wasn't afraid to finish his checks and all that kind of stuff when I watched him play. But in terms of Jacob here, let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. Let's give him a chance. And there is one more piece of information that I want to read to you from eliteprospects.com on Jacob Perreault, and that is this. Perreault is a pure sniper with one of the best shots in his draft class. It's accurate, hard, and he can score from anywhere. His ability to catch and shoot pucks in stride when the passes aren't in the wheelhouse is a transferable skill that will serve him well. So clearly, he's kind of a one-dimensional player, according to all the scouting and all the reports that have come out about him before the draft in 2020 when he was selected by the Anaheim Ducks. Has there been improvement to his game? I can't say that because I don't know. I haven't watched him at the AHL level, but we're about to find out, because a lot of you guys do follow the Laval Rocket, and we're going to see how he performs with the Rocket. He's 21, turns 22 next month in April here. He's a right-handed shot right winger, and he's from Montreal. So he's a Montrealer. He, of course, like I mentioned, he's Yannick's son, but he's a native Montrealer, so I'm sure he's very excited to play with the Montreal Canadiens franchise, see if he gets a chance to play with the big club. We know he'll get a chance in training camp, likely in the fall, should he be re-signed, because he needs a new contract this summer. But it's an upgrade on Jan Mysak. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what it turns into. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the live trade deadline special with Kyle Bukauskas, possibly Eric Engels, and Mark Dumont, and Shane Gaumont joining me to co-host. See you guys then. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.